We're probably live even as we speak.
Really?
The right, probably, but it's always hard to tell with these things. Beep, 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 beep.
What are you drinking?
Gatorade. They caught me in mid-beverage.
Mid-beverage?
Good God, man.
Good golly. Miss Molly.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, I'm Scott Jernigan.
I'm Mike Meyers, and it's the Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers Ask Mike Anything live stream. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies on CompTIA certification. How's that sound?
That sounds great. I'm just laughing at Dave. Sound is great. Sounds like two badgers on fire in a cage, but otherwise smooth.
Two badgers on fire in a cage.
It's world meet Dave's brain.
Yeah, right.
So the CompTIA certifications that we specialize in, of course, are IT Fundamentals Plus, A Plus, Network Plus, Security Plus, but we can certainly go well beyond that field and talk about anything. Keep it clean and out of religion and politics. There's a joke in there, but I'm not going to go there because I'm keeping the religion and politics out of it. Yes, there is. Many jokes in there.
And I'm not touching any of them.
Okay. Excellent. So, we already have a couple of questions. Oh, should we check in? See who's here first?
Yeah, take a quick peek here.
Okay.
Let me get my chat lined up properly. Okay, let's see. The usual suspects are here, Master. That's Jean is here.
Excellent.
Andre, Andrew Hutz.
Andre is already here and gone.
Oh, he was just in and out?
Yeah, it's just to say that he has class again.
Is Discord a problem today?
No. Discord is never the problem.
No.
It's always DNS.
Is Discord out for anyone, or is it just me, from Andrew Hutz? I would say I can answer neither of those, to be accurate. Discord is not out for me, but could it be just you? We don't know. I have to ask around. But I was able to log right in. No problem. Andrew Hutz, I think I'm overthinking the Security Plus practice questions the same way I was doing A Plus. Got a 75%, but mistakes were mostly dumb. All right, well, that is a common issue we run into, Andrew, with any kind of certification studying is, remember, the number 2 reason people fail CompTIA certifications is because they know too much. So, what's the old adage? If you see hoof prints, think horses, not zebras.
Unless you're in the heart of Africa.
Maybe. On the savannah.
Yes.
And a buddy of mine was from Sierra Leone, and there's not a zebra within 1 million miles of that. And he's like, you're talking more like, Uganda. That's where those guys had the zebras. Right. I'm like, yeah, you're in Africa. Do you know Bob? That's always my fave.
And Dave confirmed that Discord was down, but is now back up.
Not anymore.
But it's back up.
Cool.
So, and speaking of Discord, since it's already come up twice, we, Total Seminars, Mike Meyers, does not have a Discord channel. There is, however, an unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel hosted by our friend, Jose Braden, that you can get to. It's populated by casts of hundreds and is quite fun. And we often, after the AMA sessions and the Friday drama session with Dave Rush, we'll go hang out and we can see you and talk with you live, and that's fun for us and in theory for you too. So anyway, Dave will post the link at some point here in a little bit, and we'll post it a couple of times and Dave has just posted it. Excellent.
There we go. All right, Jean Dorval, Andrew Parrish, Patricia Grace, Alan Duggan, Andrew Hutz. Mike, can you explain the difference between behavior-based and heuristic IDS/IPS solutions? I keep getting them messed up. I get in trouble with this. Can I do this cold? Let's see.
Can you do it, Mike?
I think I can.
Okay. I need to step away for a second.
Okay, so first of all, behavior-based means you're actually looking at some form of action, right? You're looking at something that's taking place, an IDS/IPS that is comfortable with malformed HTTPS requests. It would look at those at a layer 7 look at the HTTPS code and detect issues right there. So that's going to be behavior-based. Heuristics basically means you're looking at the aspect or tone, like you're looking at files that would have malware screwed to the end of them or something like that. Or there's an aspect of the files themselves is where the heuristics come into play. So heuristics are going to be looking at individual files, whereas behavior-based is going to be looking at packets and the actions that those packets are taking. When you get to a malware level, like anti-malware, they're the same thing, because you're just looking at everything individually at a layer 7 basis to get the answer. So that'll get it for you. I always get nervous asking a question like that because it's been a while since I've thought about heuristic versus behavior, and it's like, do I say something different in Security Plus?
If you're wearing headphones, pull them away from your ears because I'm about to plug back in.
He's going to plug. That's Scott, always trying to plug something on my show. All right, well, do keep in mind, guys, this starts here at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and it will go till 4 o'clock or until the questions run out. And we've been running into a lot of shorter days, which I guess is good. Yeah. People are, they don't have questions, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
We've been having a lot of people who are taking and passing the exams, like all over the place. I got a wonderful email. I'm going to see if I can pull that up real quick.
Okay, sounds good.
One moment, please. Somebody wants me to be a referee for their master's degree. Have you ever heard that term?
No.
Well, I never have either.
No.
I don't know what
that means.
Referee. Referee, that is the term.
Huh. Well, okay then.
Well, we got that. I am going to find this.
While you do that.
Yeah, keep them busy. Stall.
Those of you who participated in the Security Plus roundtable with Mike and Dan need to email me directly, right? So I can get your accurate email address.
Yeah, basically, I lost you guys. So if you want to get paid, you need to contact us right away. A couple of people have contacted me, but we'll get the rest
right.
here.
So it's my email is scottj@totalsem.com. It's Scott with 2 T's and a J, as in like Jernigan for my last name. So email me directly if you would please with contact information so that we can get all the stuff done. Okay? Sounds good?
I can't find this wonderful email. I'm very disappointed.
I'm sure it said something like, Mike, you're a genius. You're amazing. Your training is so superior.
Mike Meyers, super genius.
That's it.
I
knew
like
it.
that.
I like it. Okay. Patricia Grace is here. Andrew Parrish. Alan Duggan is here. Hello. Telewitch shows up late. 1:56.
Well, it is 4 minutes behind there in Honolulu, or
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's just a time differential between halfway across the world.
I can't find it.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right. Second question. This one from Andrew Parrish.
Yes.
Mike, what is the best pizza topping of all time, and why is it pineapple? It's not a leading question or anything.
It's mushroom, you communist. Get off my channel. Pineapple. Now, okay, I will say this in defense of pineapple, is I have done the occasional ham and pineapple or even spam and pineapple pizza, and it's not terrible.
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to California Pizza Kitchen there on Post Oak?
I did.
Yeah, that's...
Back when I could actually eat pizza.
Yeah. Nothing but pablum and hard liquor for you now.
That's right. I will drink the milk.
Don't you drink the cognac? We should have the Jernigan diet, It's like...
Crazy Homebody Girl is here. Hello.
Hello.
Red Tuber. Hello, hello.
But are you talking to me? Are we okay? You just started saying
There's
hello.
just people saying hello.
Oh,
This
okay.
is even before the live stream started.
Okay. Red Tuber's
Jason,
here.
Jason Helms is here. Good to see you, always.
The WoW Guild. Have you? What's been going on with the WoW Guild? You guys, you need to play. You need to join this guild. There's,
It's called Merry Band.
And what server is it on?
Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Bloodsail Buccaneers.
It's the only classic server. That's,
Oh, there is only one?
there was only one to start with. I think there's more than one. now.
Okay. Yeah, so you need to go buy yourself a copy of World of Warcraft Classic
Yep.
and join us. So we've been having fun. I've not been having enough fun. I need to be joining in more, and I will.
Yes. And I have been having too much fun. And not getting my book written.
Tell me about it.
There we go.
Where are we at?
We are at, Dave posted the Discord link at 204 Rocky Co.
Andrew Hutz.
Join
Mike,
in.
what is the
See
preferred
how
way
they
to
chat?
keep... Whoop, sorry.
Go ahead.
201. I got from Andrew Hutz. Mike, what is your preferred way to clean the inside of your... clean the inside of your desktop. Compressed air. That's been doing it that way now for 20 years.
Absolutely.
And haven't changed.
Dave posted a video we enjoyed making on cleaning a computer that stars me, and actually got the Houston Fire Department called to our office. It's worth it.
You've never shared this story with me.
Yeah, they were like, if you're ever going to do this again, call us first. Anyway, Dave posted the link. Kathy is back from vacation, Andrew, and I know I skipped over a couple of questions. Did I? Or have we even gotten there yet?
I'm scrolling back up. I'm back to pizza topping.
Okay. Andrew Hutz. Oh, we'll go Rocky Co.
Hi there. Got it.
206.
Okay.
What is a DHCP?
What is a DH? Where is this? 206?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. What is a DHCP? Okay, well, when the internet was young and new, you had to configure every computer on your TCP/IP network with its own IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and probably a DNS server or two. And back in the old days, if you had to make a change, you had to go to every individual computer and type these values in. And it's called static IP addressing, and it's a pain in the rear end. Dynamic
Host Configuration Protocol.
Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP, was invented a little under 30 years ago, 25 years ago. And the goal of DHCP was to provide a way for individual systems. Back in the old days, we're talking mainly like desktop or server boxes. But now today it works beautifully with wireless networks to provide IP addresses for laptops and portable devices and IoT and everything. And so what you do is you set up what's known as a DHCP server. I think we have more than, you can search in the Total Seminars channel for DHCP, and I think we got 4 or 5 different DHCP videos. Anyway, the bottom line is that you set up a DHCP server in a broadcast domain in your LAN, and that DHCP server, you configure it to pass out a block of IP addresses, the classic 192.168s, or that type of thing. And that way, you can automatically have your individual host configured. And that's what DHCP is all about. DHCP is a wonderful thing and very popular on both the A+ and Net+.
So following that, at 207 is a question by Andrew. When would someone use fuzzing as a test?
Fuzzing is the data input with, I confuse fuzzing with one other thing. I know, I gotta look, sorry.
Let us Google that for you.
Well, the problem is, I know a quick answer, but then I get in trouble.
Right.
Because I want to make sure it's in the context of what's been said before.
Right.
Like even with that previous question Andrew has, like, oh boy.
Yep.
Okay, good. I had it right. I should be more confident with myself. The only time you use fuzzing is as a test. That's when it's used. So fuzzing means to provide bad input data, and the data can be in a bad form. The data could be in the form of there's a lot of different kind of fuzzings. You could try to punch in a number for a last name, for example. The data would be valid, but it may not be what you're looking for, right? Mm-hmm. That'd be the kind of thing you'd want the program to go, hey, are you sure your last name is 1234? That'd be one kind of fuzzing. Another kind of fuzzing would be to, join, enter, open paren, like trying to do a SQL injection or something like that. And so you're just putting unexpected data in as an input. You usually see it more often than not in form data more than anything else, but it can be almost any place else. So when would I use fuzzing as testing? I only use fuzzing for testing. Fuzzing is a form of testing that we do with our applications, with our software to make sure that they run good. Teacher Russell's here too, that's cool.
Excellent.
Rocky Co at 208. How can someone open your computer without you turning it on by yourself? Rocky, you mean physically open the computer? They can't, there's no, I think I could, I used
it's
to
a magic screwdriver.
Well, I used to be able to make your I could eject your optical media remotely.
Yeah. Back in the days when we actually had optical media. Don't point out your retro.
I still have optical media.
DVD.
Because the moment you stop handing me things that come with optical media, I'll stop using optical media drives.
Here, let me hand you a thumb drive.
That people don't ship it that way, Scott. I mean, good God, you every little, PCI adapter card or whatever we get invariably comes with optical media. So for the record, I don't do optical media on all my systems anymore, but I now do have a external optical media drive.
Right. Which is the only thing I have for this laptop too. So there you go. Because it's too skinny to have an optical drive.
Andrew Hutz, is Kathy still on vacation, by the way? Is she still on vacation?
No.
Okay.
She is back. Everybody's back from vacation, although Janelle's vacation was way superior. She went scuba diving for a week off the Florida Keys.
Good for her.
Yeah. And channel my inner Ernest Hemingway.
To be a man, you must
run with
catch
the
a
bulls.
fish, fight a bull, and chop down a tree or something like that. I tried chopping down a tree at Ernest Hemingway's house. They didn't think it was very funny. All the six-toed cats got a little annoyed.
Mateo Rio says, thank you for your help. You're welcome. First name, last name. Because Kathy was on vacation, and Kathy is the person who normally kind of presets up our streams, we didn't get it up fast enough for the YouTube notification to go out in proper fashion. So there you go. Oops. Okay, here's a good question at 211. Not that the other questions were also good, but here's another good question. Tom Jeffrey asks, will IPv6 be the end of NAT? I don't quite understand it.
Where is it?
211, right below Dave's post.
From Tom Jeffrey. Will IPv6 be the end of NAT? I don't quite understand it. Yeah, yes. When done properly and in a native format, there is no need for NAT with IPv6. People treat NAT, right? So let's make sure we know what we're saying when we say NAT, right? You're talking about, you got some home router, and on one side, it's got an IP address that comes from your ISP, and on the other side, that little home router is probably a DHCP server, and we need to give it IP addresses internally. By using natural address translation, or NAT, we don't have to give every computer in our LAN a public IP address. Public IP addresses are no longer, they're not free, they haven't been free in 20 years. And if you want all your computers, you want your laptops and your phones and everything in your internal network to have a public IP address. That's going to cost you a lot of money, and you don't need it. So what we had started, I guess 20 years ago, was this combination of home routers that do NAT and DHCP all at the same time. So what? Network address translation? What did I say?
Natural.
Oh, whatever. People, it's like, you're never going to be tested on what these acronyms stand for.
I will test you.
You're not going to doubt on any not on practice questions. We don't.
Not on practice questions.
And
Right.
Way to go. Did you unplug anything? Are we still broadcasting? Is that blood? Is that blood on the floor? Ugh. So yeah, I don't have any interest in what acronyms stand for. I mean, it's not like I disinterest, but
right.
Nobody cares. What's a lot more important is you understand what does NAT do. So anyway, to get back to answer your question, people forget that NAT was brought in to preserve what few IPv4 addresses we had left. If we had if we had had a better addressing system, we probably never would have used NAT in the first place. The problem is we've got a lot of younger people out there who remember only the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. So to them, the whole world has always been NAT routers that are passing out private IP addresses. And with IPv6, we now have enough address space. Even your tiniest network has 2 to the 128th power addresses. 64th power addresses. And so the whole concept of needing native network address translation just doesn't even make sense anymore. Now here's the problem. Because we have plenty of address space, we don't need NAT. But too many people look at NAT as a firewall, okay? I would argue that it is a firewall to some extent. I mean, it's a firewall in that it adds a layer of software between me and the systems I want to get to. Now, I can hop that fence fairly readily,
right,
but it's not intuitive or instantly easy, and there's defenses for it as well. So to me, there is an argument where one could say that because it adds this layer of software, it could be argued to be firewalling, but it's not a classic firewall. And if you want to get two nerds in a fist fight, strip them down to their underwear, and just before you shut the door on a padded cell, yell, "NAT is a firewall," and then shut the door and let them hammer it out, because you can go either way on that. Dun, 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 dun. So IPv6 will most certainly be the end of NAT. In fact, it's already started. Most people, certainly here in the United States, if you've got a native IPv6 connection, as most ISPs do today, you're not using NAT. You might be using NAT, but you're only using it for the IPv4 part. Your IPv6 addresses are public addresses, and anybody could see them and ping them depending on how your firewalls are set up.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, Andrew, World of Warcraft is very, it's not super expensive, $15 a month, but although that's a lot of money for some people, of course. But yeah, time, yeah. 212, Mateo asks, any tips to get into more details, about the registry?
Well, I mean, the problem with the registry is that it's the one-stop shop for literally any piece of pertinent data on a Windows system, right? So there are almost no INI files left. There are a few. Did you know that? But not too many. Anyway, so you've got the registry. It would be utterly impossible for anyone to know everything there is about the registry. What would be more interesting to me is that you can bring in the registry. Oh, make sure I got to use proper terminology here. One second. Yeah, okay. So what you need to be able to do with the registry, it's more important to me, is that you know how to select a piece of the registry and export that out, that you know what your 6 basics, 5, God bless it, it's 5. Boy, did I just go NT there or what?
Yeah, you did.
Windows 95 too. Make sure you know what your root keys are HKey classes, root, HKey current user, HKey local machine. Make sure you know those and basically why each one of those is there. Do an import or an export, like I already mentioned, and that would be about it. Nobody expects you to have the entire Windows registry memorized. You would take 20 lifetimes to do that. What is expected is if somebody says, I need you to add this piece to the registry, that you know how to do an import. Or if you're getting ready to edit a big chunk of the registry, before you start the editing, export that piece out, dump it on your desktop. So if you jack with it too hard, at least you'll be able to boot back into it if necessary. So those would be the things that I'd be more interested in. You're not going to be quizzed on, where do you go in the registry to stop auto-loading programs?
Right.
HKey current user, software, Microsoft, Windows, current version, run. I think that's right.
Okay.
I'm saying it with authority.
I know, right? And ask
Mike Meyers is saying, well, 2 plus 2's got to equal 5, Bob.
Ask me another thing. When was the last time you actually had to mess with your registry, Scott?
When was the last time you actually had to mess with your registry, Scott?
Only while doing class demonstrations.
Oh, I do it. I still mess with the registry. Not as much as I used to, but yeah. Those are definitely good things to know for your A+.
Yep. So at 213, Jason Helms asked, oh, by the way, click the little 3 dots on the top of the chat and turn on the timestamp so you can see where we are in the chat. I noticed a couple people have repeated questions and we haven't even gotten to the first instance of the question yet. So it's a good way to see when we are as opposed to what we've covered. And also flip from top chat to live chat because top chat automatically filters a bunch of the posts. So if you want to see everything, flip to live chat.
Absolutely.
So as I was saying, at 2:13, Jason Helms asked, what are the differences between remote desktop and remote assistance?
Remote desktop, another person can log into your system and you can't see that they're logged in unless you actually checked your remote desktop management panel. And with remote assistance, the person is joining the same thing you are, so you can literally either one move the mouse.
I think with remote desktop these days, it automatically kind of logs you out when somebody logs in remotely. So it's a pretty...
We had a conversation about this.
Ask me last time I used remote desktop.
Traditionally with remote desktop, remote assistance, you agree, we're on the same terminal.
Absolutely.
And we're all clicking. Here, let me drive the mouse, right? That's
right.
Remote assistance. And I thought remote desktop just brought you into another terminal. In fact, I think I know what the difference is, and that is the main place I use remote desktop more than anything else is when I'm trying to access servers.
Right, so of course there's nobody on the other machine doing any work or logged in anyway.
But other people can be logged in simultaneously.
Yeah. Desktop remote desktop blacks out the local machine. It's been confirmed in the back channel.
All right.
Awesome, thanks, Dave.
Wait a minute, / at 213. Are you guys excited for DDR5? No.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's always good. We have that after the natural progress. RAM has to keep going in order to keep up with things.
Right.
My only big problem, DDR5 is going to push some of these clock latencies out to like 30. But the latency is going to just go through the roof.
The latency is going to go up, but just like we saw with DDR4, even though the latency was higher than DDR3, the inherent speed and efficiency of the RAM made it faster.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
And Dex source got deleted. What did they say?
Apparently the same question 7 times in a row.
All right, Ant and Dex source, you're welcome to keep asking questions. Just don't be a silly hamster.
Telowit post. This goes back to our conversation on Wednesday about the high price of video cards. British police raided a place stealing electricity for suspected cannabis farm Turns out they were stealing the power for cryptocurrency mining. That's awesome.
In Texas, years ago, we used to have a bumper sticker that you put on your pickup truck, and it was like, please don't tell my mom I work in the oil field. She still thinks I'm a piano player in a house of ill repute. So it's like, please don't tell my mom I'm cryptocurrency, and she still thinks I'm growing marijuana in the back 40. See, I get to that humor eventually. You got to just be patient. Sometimes you just got to see me winding it up, and you just got to go, here it comes. It's all good.
Here it comes. Yeah. It's a slow curveball.
I did do one fun thing this weekend. I went and saw the Astros play Boston.
Nice.
Little Miss NASA girl is from Boston, as you know, and
that way you could root for opposite teams.
And we did. So I got my Astros regalia on. She's got all her Red Sox regalia on, and we discovered there were quite a few mixed relationships there.
That's fun.
And it was almost all the time the gals were wearing the Boston Red Sox and the guys were wearing the Astros. So
go figure.
Go figure.
Because guys approve of stealing.
Oh!
Astro zinger.
Like there's only 6 people from the United States here. Everybody else is like, let's talk about, football with your feet.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Come on.
It's. I'm taking Maggie to go see the U.S. Women's National
Team.
So
boring. I'm sorry.
On Wednesday.
European football is dull. It's so dull.
It's so fun. It's exciting. No, they almost scored.
Yeah, that's right. It's the only sport where they do instant replays on misses. Let's watch that again. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because everybody speaks like that. They're all Australian.
They're all English.
Oh, okay. I don't know. They're friends. They're not too happy about that. Qual?
217, Jason Helms. And I don't know the answer to this question.
Do I like cheese? Yes.
That was the Andrew Hutt's question. The Jason Helms question is, why doesn't a shutdown and restart reset your uptime in Task Manager, but a restart does?
Oh.
I don't know. I never noticed things like that.
I've never noticed that either. What an interesting thing. Shutdown and restart, but a restart does. Jason, I have no idea, nor did I know that to be true. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know. Tolowit at 228. I know I probably jumped a little bit. I'm going to let you grab it. Do you ever recommend using a third-party registry cleaner like CCleaner? I like CCleaner, but it's a little tricky to use, and it's a very dangerous tool in the wrong hands. I don't think that there are any registry tools that are easily used. CCleaner has one thing going for it, and it points at the chunks of the registry that you're most going to be interested in: caching, temporary data, old user data, things like that. Duplicate DLLs, it's still good for things like that. But you've got to go through and be so slow and careful. I have wiped out more than one system using registry cleaners, and mainly because I was like, it's going to be fine. Take it. And then it's like, work, and going right back from my restore disk. But in fact, CCleaner is the only one I even know of in the terms of registry cleaners. But even CCleaner came up with a problem. Didn't even CCleaner have an issue? I'd have to look it up. Andrew Hutz, Mike, remind me, do your video series count as continuing ed to renew CompTIA certs? I'm pretty sure that they do, but it's a matter of you've got to submit them to CompTIA.
Right.
And it's 8 hours? I forget what the total number of hours is, but yeah.
All right, so 218, 218, a couple of posts here that are interesting. Teacher Russell, in a few of the languages I speak, that's a loaded statement, that's cool. On/off translates directly to open/close. That could lead to some confusion.
Touch that, where is that?
Right there.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then at 2:18, Andrew Hutz asks, Mike, did you hear about the cyber attack on JBS, the meat supplier?
My daughter is a manager for JBS. She's up there, and yes, I did hear about it. And I don't know anything. I'm a little close to that one, so
So he can't say anything.
well, I don't know anything is the right answer.
So at 2:19, Chaco Taco says, hello, everyone. I'm taking the A+ 1002 tomorrow. Good luck.
Good luck, Chaco Taco. Knock it out, brother.
Let us know how you do.
But anyway, there's more of a question there than that, and that is he's asking, is nothing sacred to these threat actors? No, nothing is sacred. When will the madness end? It's going to get far worse before it ever gets better, if it ever gets better, and that's what's going to keep us all making money, because they're going to need us out there.
Right. So at 2:19, Patricia Grace asked if there was an AMA about sharing files with Samba, and Dave Rush responded already. That's not a subject you've covered, but Dave did cover it in Drama, and he posted the link for you. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right, Patricia. So yeah, just Dave put that link up there, and remember he was doing this with Raspberry Pis, but Samba is still Samba, and so whatever worked for the Pis would work for any Linux system,
So,
as long as it's running Samba.
Yeah. So Cheryl Wynn at 2:20. Hi, Mike. Could you please explain more about serial attached SCSI?
Not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, serial attached SCSI is the old SCSI interface. Way back when ATA interfaces were really just getting started, was extremely powerful. SCSI ran, they were parallel type cables, just like we had with the old ATA cables, but it had lots of extra features, and it had its own controller that not only just controlled individual devices, but would control the entire SCSI chain. So there was all these little pluses that kept SCSI around for a long time. The thing that probably killed traditional SCSI was serial ATA. When SATA drives came around, SATA took a lot of the interesting commands from SCSI, native command queuing, things like that. Also got up to SCSI 2 speeds, or the wide SCSI. I don't remember all the old SCSI speeds. Anyway, SATA got so fast that traditional SCSI disappeared pretty quickly. But there is still a lot of beauty to the SCSI command set, and that's just as they took regular ATA, parallel ATA, and turned it into SATA, they did basically the same thing with SCSI. They took parallel SCSI and turned it into serial attached SCSI, or SAS. You're going to see it in servers quite a bit. Traditionally, it worked better in terms of some had like supporting RAID, things like that. But a lot of this stuff isn't even that true. I have not seen a SAS system in a couple of years. I know they're still out there, and you can still buy the drives and all that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but that's what serial attached SCSI is all about.
So
it's not. You can't take a SATA drive and plug it into a serial attached SCSI port, even though the connectors look
right.
The connections look very much the same, but they're not. You can plug them in; they just won't work. You won't break anything.
So at 2:20, Nahian Majid asks if we sell any practice exams for A+ 101 or 1001 and 1002.
Why, yes, we do.
And yes, we do. And I posted the link. Just go to www.totalsim.com. Practice exams is one of the main tabs on the homepage. A+ is right there. We also sell what's called the Total Sims. These are simulations that match the performance-based questions on the CompTIA A+ exams. So yeah. These are also good to look at as well. Oliver Freeman at 2:20 passed my 1002 exam today. Thanks so much, Mike. Your course is brilliant. Little round of applause there. Way to go, Oliver. I'm assuming you passed 1001 already, which means you're A+ certified, and that is awesome. And what does Mike say when that happens?
Big round of applause.
And
Get a job.
there we go. Whew. I thought the world would stop spinning there for a second. Tell it. Okay. Andrew, I'm not getting in the Apple Wars today. Well, maybe. Okay, so at 2:22, Pringles86 says, hey Mike, just started on your A+ exam course to try and change my career after some unfortunate health problems. Hopefully those are taken care of too. Thank you for all your videos and especially for your books.
You're very welcome, Pringles86.
So at 2:22, here's a practical exam question from first name, last name. Is the A+ exam all online these days, or do you actually take it with pencil and Scantron sheets?
You have never taken it with a pencil and Scantron sheets.
Right.
That doesn't happen. Never has.
It was always computer-based, and now it's both
You can go to a Prometric Testing Center, or you can do it
online through www.onview.com.
Smoke?
I switched back to cigarettes.
That's me smoking.
Well, there you go. So I'm at.
Now you did it. You lost your place.
I did.
This poor ant and deck source is still being timed out. Be nice, young man. Tolowit, what about 2:20 p.m.? What about Global Natural Address Translation, GNAT? I don't think there is such a thing.
That's how,
You do,
I laughed at that one.
you do have this. Well, Cisco has, inside global, outside global addressing for NAT. That's just the way they.
OGNAT?
No. Like if you have a NAT router, you have a outside local address, and then you have an inside global address. It's just Cisco terminology.
Gotcha.
Priesthoods.
Yes. Okay. So Andrew Hutz asked about total tester 226 and wants to switch it up. Email Kathy. If she hasn't already sent it to you, you can certainly change your mind. Tom Jeffrey, thanks guys. These chats are so helpful. Smiley face. Oh, now I'm finally up to Tulowit's C cleaner question at 2:28. And you already answered that one.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Yes.
I tried playing that once. Everybody's laughing behind me. I'm fat, but I'm fast. I got moves. I have moves.
You got moves like Jagger, man.
Got moves like Jagger. Well, maybe not like Jagger, maybe more like Jabba, but I have moves. Skywalker. Oh my God, that's the best filk. Filk is when you take a popular tune and you put different lyrics on it. So, what's his name? I'm fat, you know it. He takes Michael Jackson songs, other people's songs, and he puts his own.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird Al Yankovic, that's filk. So I'm telling you, I got moves like Jabba. There's something in there. I'll work on it.
Okay.
Moves like, now it's in my head. I got an earworm.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Scott. 2:31 p.m. Fox 21, Fox 21. What's the difference between a virtual machine and Docker? Well, let's not use the word Docker. Let's say containerization program. Docker is by far the most famous and popular containerization program, but it's not the only one out there. So to make it real easy, a virtual machine requires some kind of software known as a hypervisor to support virtual machines. So with a virtual machine, you are virtualizing the computer itself, and you have to put a real piece of operating system on there. With a container software, you are emulating the operating system, and you have to put real code in it. So virtual machines allow you to separate a computer from the actual hardware by giving it virtualized hardware, a containerization program like Docker allows you to separate a program from the real operating system by putting it in its own little container to run that.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on.
Just like that.
No, I know. I asked that question because somebody asked here. Nameless asked at 2:30. Why is my nose itching, Mike? Is there a way to use Total Tester on mobile other than through a browser app? No, but we're working on it. See, Gino liked the Astro Zinger. Somebody appreciates my humor. Okay.
So here's Andrew Hutz saying it's not dull, it's a great sport. I can get into baseball when I'm doing the statistics, when I'm actually getting a piece of paper and scoring out the game and all that. But it's hard to just watch. Baseball is something you got to keep up in, you know?
I actually, there's a rhythm to baseball that I find just very relaxing, but I guess because I've been going since forever, and the games are just as slow as they look on TV, but they're more fun live.
We had a great game this weekend, man.
Yeah?
The Astros had some hot bats.
That's fun.
It was 11-2. It was kind of a rout. Chased Crown. Either of you play Persona 5 or Castlevania? Have you even heard of either of those guys? No, we haven't, but now you have us curious. What is Castlevania? I'll chase down. I'll check it out. Andrew Hutz. Mike, I mixed up the OCSP protocol with the OSCP certification and got a total 12. Should I just swing it and take the Security Plus? Yeah, Andrew, just take it. You're going to be fine, man. Andrew, you're one of these people. I want you to take this in the good humor that it's meant. I'll bet you're one of those guys who never can get a computer fixed because you're so interested in the technicality of it. You know what it's mine? Whereas at a certain point, it's like, why don't you just upgrade the damn driver and then we can move on? Whereas I'm the kind of person that's like, well, let's look at this driver the right way, and consider, different options. And what if we, do this and,
Consider the driver's feelings.
Yes, assuming a screwdriver.
Is it the natural shape, the idealized screwdriver?
Well, it's very much a common problem for most techs because they want to like totally understand an issue. And that can be technically interesting, that can be academically fun, but you'll go broke,
And you won't be able to play your game. So, change tunes. So, 236, Medi, EAC, says, hi guys.
236?
Yeah, he skipped over a couple.
Did
I? Is Mike Meyers Security Plus 601 in production? You already have the 501. You have to the end of July to take 501 before it goes dead. So if you're going to do the 501, you need to get busy quickly. The 601 has been filmed. It is in post-processing right now. And about 2 or 3 weeks at the most, and the video team will be done with post-processing, and it'll go up on the Total Sim Training Hub, it'll go up on Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, etc. So, a couple weeks, and it'll be ready.
Yeah, Siegfried, I have email from you, so we're good.
Yep. Okay. And kind of scanning for questions here.
Patricia Grace, 234. Why would a system not show the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi radio in the list of available networks and only show the 2.4? Probably because it's an 802.11n or earlier system that doesn't support 5 gigahertz. Very, very common. You particularly tend to see this a lot, like with Wi-Fi cameras and stuff like that. They only run on the 2.4 gigahertz band. So that means they're either going to be running B, G, or N.
Okay.
Andrew, when are you guys getting Dan? Andrew, again, like I alluded to, guys, I have been going to the doctor constantly, and I have just enough time in my life to make sure that I'm showing up for AMAs. But I did give Dan a call, and I will give him another call right away. I'm very much looking forward to having him come aboard.
Just when you think old tech is gone forever, I had a buddy of mine from way back in undergraduate emailed me yesterday and said that he was finally joining the 21st century and trading in his 15-year-old flip phone for a smartphone.
How do you get batteries for a phone that old?
I don't know, man. I'm like, it lasted 15 years? That's amazing. I actually miss my old flip phone. Oh, that's not a flip phone, that's a fold phone.
It starts with an F.
Nice.
Patricia Grace was saying at 2:35 that CCleaner started getting bloat. I quit using it mainly because I just don't find myself going in, like you kind of alluded to. The times I need to go in the registry anymore, I'm usually going in for a very, very specific reason. The main reason I find myself going into registries anymore is to support other people writing code. And they need me to do something weird in there to make something work.
So at 2:37, Andrew Hutz asked, with constantly increasing cybersecurity risks, will companies need to start lowering barriers for entry and training from the ground up? It seems like there just aren't enough boots on the ground.
Well, there's not. There's literally, here just in the United States alone, it's anticipated something in the area of, I don't know, it was a very large number of slots that aren't being filled. The problem we have here, Andrew, is that security is not, it's not a simple process. And we need people who can do more than just press a button. And I mean, there is some of the button pressing that goes on, certainly, but we need people who are better than that. So when you say, are we going to lower the bar? I think we lower the bar already, mainly by making good knowledge of the demand for IT security as a start.
Yeah.
So it may not lower the bar, but at least puts lights around the bar so more people can see it. The other thing I would say is that bringing in and consolidating certification paths with security. I mean, when you really do start with like Security Plus as an entry-level security cert, I mean, there is a amount of intellectual firepower you've just got to have. And so I'm not so interested in lowering the bar per se as I am in finding the people with the aptitude and the passion.
Okay.
I think that's the better way to look at that.
Okay. Nice. 240, Hoosier Benjamin says, hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
How would you connect to a virtual machine through VirtualBox remotely? I'm having a hard time configuring and setting up the VM itself for remote access.
I've never tried to do that. So first of all, you'd have to tell me what kind of remote access you're trying to do, right? So if you're trying to SSH into this thing, I mean, do we have to do port forwarding at your router to get to it? That's about all you need to do. I would need to know how the VirtualBox is configured for your network. What type of network are you using? Is the virtual machine part of your actual network? Is it NATed itself within the virtual machine? You need to give me more questions about what your setup is. The times that I've done remote access, and by remote access I mean SSH connections to virtual systems, I use a bridging network card in VirtualBox for that virtual machine. So if my internal network is 192.168.5 dot whatever, then the virtual machine is going to get a 192.168.5 dot whatever. It's a peer to the actual LAN itself. The reason I do that is I don't want to mess with firewalling between the VirtualBox's network and my local network.
Right.
If I trust my local network, I'm going to be able to trust the virtual machine in that. And then that way, then I'll go ahead and do a port forward on the actual router itself to open up what are we doing? SSH to open up port 22, and I would be able to get to that system. That's it.
Yeah, another option would be to use some kind of remote desktop-ish software like TeamViewer that install it on the virtual machine and install it on whatever machine you're trying to access that virtual
Sure, as
machine
long
on.
as you make sure it's bridged to your local network, you're fine.
Yeah. So, interesting idea.
And I still use type VNC from time to time.
Nice. I actually, much to our network administrator's chagrin, still use TeamViewer to get to my desktop at the office. Don't try running World of Warcraft over your remote desktop, though. I'm just saying. Yeah, Andrew. Okay. At 243, Andrew. Mike, I mixed up the OCSP protocol with the OSCP certification. Got a total tester question wrong as a result. Should I just wing it and take the Security Plus?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. COVID Plus, really? Too soon?
Too soon. See, everybody knew it was Weird Al. I was the only one who didn't know it.
Right? All right. Scott Wolf at 245. I have trouble, and I just lost it.
I got it. I have a hard time remembering IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS. I never worked in IT. Any methods that you can recommend for me? See, again, I'm not good for like using clever terms. I just make a point to remember each one of those, right? So, so the only thing I would do is get them in order of how they would fit in the OSI. So it would be IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. So IaaS is infrastructure as a service. That's where you build and spin up virtual machines, but instead of doing it locally, you do it on the cloud.
All right.
So that is infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service, basically, you take code, and most of the time you're using Docker and things like that, and you inject code into somebody's service where they actually build the systems underneath it, but you don't see that. You're just like, here's a piece of code, run it for me.
Right.
And if it doesn't run fast enough, like they'll have their own kind of, do you want to turn this up to a 3 kind of a thing?
Right.
But they obfuscate the actual individual infrastructure away from you. And then software as a service is, to me, almost anything you do on the web is software as a service. I argue that the Google search engine is software as a service. So those are the 3.
Okay. Peter Hunt at 245 asks, how many virtual machines would you recommend per logical processor?
I don't really worry about that very much. I'm far more worried about the amount of RAM people have in their systems for virtual machines. I guess it would make, I don't know. So like I know with like VMware you can do a lot more controls on these things, but with VirtualBox, there's not really any control on that. I don't think about that. Honestly, that's not an issue. For me, I'm more worried about how much RAM you have. And if rock bottom minimum of 4 gigs of RAM per running VM in general.
So Castlevania apparently was some Nintendo game. I never played consoles.
Is it?
Yeah.
I put it up here. Well, it says P5. Isn't that PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
We are, what do we call them? PC Master Race. Anybody thinks a PC is better than a console?
And it's clearly the case.
It is. No argument from me there, Mr. Jernigan.
Maze01 asks at 247 if we have content for the MD100 exam of Microsoft. No.
No, we don't.
We got out of the Microsoft business some years ago.
Not to say we couldn't drive back in, but right now we're just, concentrating on keeping our CompTIA certs up to speed.
Yep.
Now, man, I got to tell you, COVID really messed up the certification training market. We had a big delay on our Security Plus, but so did pretty much everybody else. So yeah, it's just interesting.
What do we got going here? Lots of conversation about Weird Al Yankovic because he's funny, yes, and he makes some brilliantly creative parodies and filks. At 2:51.
Hold on, 2:50. Captain C, late for the live. Hope all is well. I just got to get out of this chair for a minute.
That's because it's a painful, hard wooden chair.
It is. It's my self is sore. Do you know when the CompTIA A+ exam expires? As I booked my test part 1 for this month. It's A+, you got at least a year. So you got oodles of time. Was it less than a year? Would you have to say 10 months?
Yeah, probably April
okay.
Of next year.
Okay, yeah.
But you have plenty of time on A+. They haven't even released the pre-release objectives, so we don't even know when the exam's coming out. So
yeah, and by the time we get our secret notice on this, where we can't tell anybody, it's going to be 6 or 8 more months after that, minimum.
Yeah, plenty of time to do your A+. In fact, you probably have time to do A+, and Net+, and Security Plus before there'll be a new A+ exam.
Yep, absolutely.
And there we go.
Cheryl Wen, my laptop keeps rebooting on its own multiple times. What could be the reason behind it? Why would any machine reboot itself multiple times? There's so many good reasons. Let's start with something easy. Did you make a hardware change? Even just plugging in a USB device can cause problems. Have you checked your error, your event viewer? Event viewer will log this stuff and will give you some kind of information. So you just go under System and Event Viewer, read the logs, and see what that might be saying. Bad RAM can cause a system to reboot over and over and over again. But usually if RAM is physically bad, it will, especially if the RAM is in the early part, the lower numbers where Windows is going to load into, it'll keep rebooting, but it'll reboot at pretty much the exact same place every time. If you have a bad piece of RAM that's later in the memory where Windows can load, and it's fine, but the moment you start loading a game, suddenly it goes ka-thunk.
Yeah.
But most of those will show up as a blue screen of death. They'll make it, it'll bring that up. And then, of course, heating is also an issue there, too. Laptops often have problems with either a lot of the Dells that had active fans on them, the fans would get chewed up and they wouldn't blow enough air and they just overheat.
Right.
But again, you would get a warning with that. And unless it's like a really old laptop, there's probably some kind of warning. So that would mean going into your system setup and making sure your alarms are on for overheating and that type of thing. Those would be the first places I would look.
I agree.
Captain C, you bought my video CompTIA, super informative. Thank you, Captain C. Nameless at 251. Am I correct in being pain about seeing what appears to be a server rack mounted 15 feet in the air? I always mount my racks 15 feet in the air. How about you, Scott?
We actually have a rack that's mounted that high.
Pretty high up.
Yeah.
We do have, at Total Seminars, we've got like a little, 30U rack, wall-mounted rack, and we put it way up there. And the reason we put it way up was simply because that's where the cables were coming in from,
right.
And we didn't have enough slack in the runs, so it was put up high just to make sure we had plenty of space. But 15 feet, no. Most MDFs and IDFs are on standard racks, which sit at the floor level, or at least on top of a plenum. Yeah. And you're bending down to get to most components, not
not
getting
a
a
ladder 15 feet above the earth.
Yeah.
Andre is back from class. Yay, 252.
Was a quick
Welcome
class.
back. Yep. They are continuing. Okay, so Medi, looks like they will be going for the 601 training because it's too tight.
All right. It's starting to get
tight.
now.
If you're just now starting Security Plus, you better not have a job and just be able to focus on intense studying.
I mean, if I was going to start Security Plus today, I'd still go for the 501. But I would make darn good and sure I was out of it quickly, right? I mean,
2 months, less than 2 months.
Man, I still think there's a lot of good time in there.
Okay.
I'm at 258. How about you?
I'm at 253. Captain C was at the last live session where Michael's car got sideswiped, hit and run. He took it into the shop today, as soon as they could get it in, and found out that there are no rental cars in Houston.
There's no rental cars anywhere in America.
None. No rental cars at all. So, yeah, that was a shock.
Do you know why that is? It's actually kind of interesting.
I believe you're going to tell me.
Because all the
Mike?
rental companies sold all their cars because nobody was renting them.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So it's a matter of Enterprise is not going to sit around with, hundreds of thousands of cars
Right.
that they're paying a lease on that they can't get anybody to rent. So during Corona, they sold off a lot of their fleets. I'll tell you right now, if you wanted to buy a good used car, or if you wanted to buy a slightly used cruise ship, there's some amazing deals out there. Carnival Princess.
Now comes with Corona.
They dipped them. So it's yet another stupid YouTube channel I like to listen to. It's these guys. They're at breaker yards in Pakistan, and
Okay.
where they take a ship, a big
breaker yard. Okay, I got
big ship, and they just drive these ships onto the sand, and then they just start cutting them up. I mean, it's an environmental nightmare, but workers die by the droves. But it's fascinating to see like ships that I've been on, the Carnival Fantasy, which used to be in Galveston, Texas, and there's a video of it. Then a bazillion guys with cutting torches just go nuts.
Wow. I can definitely say pretty clearly that a cruise is not in my future.
I used to like cruises. You know what I like best about cruises?
Getting off the boat.
Nope. Bingo.
Bingo. Seriously? B12.
I'll tell you, bingo, when you're on a cruise, bingo takes on a level of seriousness, Scott. Right? I bring a dauber. The one where you can mark it fast, because I got 5 cards, right? So I got to move.
Wow. Okay, Mike.
It's fun. It's the only time I play. The other thing I only do on a cruise ship is I drink pina coladas. Normally I would never drink a pina colada, but when I'm on a cruise ship, drink a pina colada with extra Meyers rum on the top.
Because your last name is Meyers? Really?
No, because I like Meyers dark rum. What do you only drink Jernigan
Yes.
whiskey because it starts with a J?
Yes.
I don't think I'm going to talk to you for 3 minutes. Into the penalty box for you.
I know. We had a funny penalty box joke earlier that I didn't read out loud. Oh, and I just super scrolled. Okay, 258. Abu Bakr Al-Haj. Mike Meyers, first I would like to thank you for your efforts in making such great computer courses. I started and finished the A+ course only in LinkedIn since 2019, but I didn't take the exam yet, comma.
Dude.
Comma. Hold on.
I don't think he meant a comma.
I don't think he meant a comma.
I think
Because there is no follow-up to that. So, you haven't taken the exam yet. I suggest brushing up on your A+ stuff before you do it, because it's expensive.
3 o'clock. Siegfried.
3 o'clock.
So in regards to VMs, I'm currently running 64 gigs of RAM until I upgrade it. That's a lot of RAM. What are your thoughts on you running 2 different Linux distros? Yeah, you're fine. Not a problem. What I just, 4 to 8 gigabytes per virtual system. And, you could do less than that if you guarantee they're Linux. Like with Linux, well, most of Linux are 64-bit now. So I really don't want to do 2 gigs. I'm due 4 gigs. Yeah, and it's probably too much, but I don't care.
Okay.
William Jeske, that's the glorious PC gaming master race.
Yes. Yeah, we could, Patricia. We could all pool together and buy a cruise ship. It would just be the floating Mike Meyers A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus training cruises. And
it'll be an old tanker. What was that movie, Waterworld, with...
Kevin Costner?
Yeah, where he had the really cool trimaran.
That was like the only good thing in the entire movie.
Did you know that Jack Black was in that movie?
I didn't know who Jack Black was when that movie came out.
Do you remember the scene with the quad 50s and the guys... Why do we even talk about movies with you? Why do we even talk about them? Oh, yeah, and the side of the tanker was the Exxon Valdez.
Nice.
Yeah. Looking for a question.
Yep.
I'm completely... Okay, we're back.
I'm down all the way to the end, and we're out.
We're out already? Oh, okay. Scott Wolf, I've been studying my A+ for a year. I'm struggling with it. Always wonder if I should go to Network Plus. Joe, just so much material on A+. There's a lot of it. Scott, there's a lot of material on Network Plus too. So Scott Wolf, what you need to be doing, man, is when you say you're having trouble with something, this is where practice questions are really your best friend. Because if you can begin to answer practice questions on certain topic areas where you can say, okay, I got that part, now I can move on. And so when you start, anytime anybody says, I'm having trouble, or I can't get, and they're not saying a specific topic, that's usually is that you're being overwhelmed with your training, and you've just got to be linear about it. We work really hard at Total Seminars to make training material that begins at the beginning and ends at the end as best as we can. And I think we've been very successful with A+ and Network Plus over the decades doing that. Security Plus, a little bit less so because Security Plus is 75 different topics that don't really relate to each other. But the bottom line is that even Security Plus, which may not have a linearity to it, then you just do a chapter by chapter thing, right? So we'll do this chapter, then we'll do that chapter, and then do your practice questions on that and whatever you might want to do from there.
Okay.
But don't be intimidated. Everybody gets overwhelmed. That is normal and good.
So, and just as a follow-up question, Nameless asked at 307, speaking of speed in studying, does anyone on camera or in chat have recommendations on studying styles? Currently, I've just been drilling the questions over and over. Be careful with that. If you're I assume you're looking at our practice questions, and if that's the case, they're not specifically CompTIA, or not word for word CompTIA questions. So you won't see any of those questions worded like that on the actual exam. So the way to study with our practice exams is to get the format, the feel of the CompTIA-E's speak, and the way they phrase their questions, which we do match. And also to very carefully look at the explanations for the wrong answers to understand why those answers are wrong. Because a lot of times we use the answer explanations as a supplemental teaching tool for you to get the information that you will see on the exam. So don't just drill the questions, but study the answers too, okay?
I've always said the ultimate way you can tell that you have conquered a subject is that you can write your own questions about it. And anytime somebody says, I've got this down, I'll be like, write 3 questions on that topic. You understand DHCP? Great. Write 3 questions. And to me, that's always the ultimate test.
Sounds good. Captain C. I passed A+. I would take Security and Network Plus as well. Could I stay with my 9-to-5 job, or is it more intense compared to A+?
Go ahead, man.
I think so much depends on your passion about a subject and how much the content of that subject embraces you. I find A+ to be bread and butter. I mean, it's just it's something that I'm immersed in, and really just love playing with the machines and how they work. And so it's just like I just want to eat up all that knowledge, right? Networks are a little more esoteric. Mike, for example, just absolutely adores Network Plus and can just dive into the preparation for a Network Plus or a networking book or exam, and just like it's the best thing that he's ever had. Security Plus, if finding out how all this stuff gets attacked and gets protected and what organizations do to help protect their assets, if that excites you, then you're going to find Security Plus easier than Network Plus or A+. So it's really I don't know. I don't know what your personality is and your interests, so it's a tough question to answer.
Well, I think the big answer is, if you look what he had, should I stay with my 9-to-5 job? Always be working. Always be working.
Unless it's
most certifications are studied for nights and weekends. All right, so you know what? We got a lot of new faces on today. So what I thought might be fun is, guys, we're going to do a competition. So the competition, what we're about to do is we're all going to compete for free 90-day?
90-day.
90-day access to any of the Mike Meyers Total Seminars practice questions product list. So A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, anything you want. So I'm going to do a Network Plus question, and what you're going to answer it. So you answer by just typing it into the live chat. Do not type in these are multiple choice. Do not type in A, B, C, or D. Type some kind of words so that I know that you're at least trying to answer it. You remember years ago, had too many people coming in, they just type in A, B, C, D, A, B. It's like, no, we got to
type it all the way in.
Type it all the way in. And also keep in mind is that whoever Scott says is first wins, all right? Just because you think you're first, that doesn't mean we see it as first.
Right, because it depends on your location, how many hops you are away from here. So whoever shows up in my feed with the correct answer will be announced the winner. If you want to play but don't want to win, just type in your answer and type the word pass.
The reason is a lot of people have won multiple times and they enjoy the competition. So also keep that in mind too, that especially if you're a new person, go to sneeze.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it's sitting there right in the middle of things too. Wonderful. Okay. So if you're a new person, you'd never be surprised.
Worse, he was going to amplify the sneeze onto his microphone.
Okay, so let's have a competition. You guys ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
I got a question.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I got a question queued up already, man.
Okay. Whoa, wow, you are way ahead of the curve here.
So, which document defines services, products, and timeframes for support provided by a vendor? So this is documentation, folks, which is very important on the Network Plus. So is this acceptable use policy? Is this a statement of work? Is this an SLA? Or is this a memorandum of understanding? I think I know the answer, but let's see what you guys come up with. All right, let's start getting some answers in here. I've only got like 2 people who have tried to answer it so far.
Tell it.
All right, and now we're starting to get some people in there. So, okay, All right, let's go. Let's see who the winner is. Scott, can you scroll up to where the questions were, where the answers started? Would that be right there, I believe? Okay. So let's take a look here, kids. And I am pretty sure that this is a statement of work. Let me double check. Yeah. This is a statement of work. So a statement of work, the trick here is it's produced by a vendor. So that's kind of a clue right there. And it's saying what service are we going to provide, what products, and in what time frame are we going to provide those. So, Scott, who was the first person to say SOW?
Without a doubt, it was Andrew Hutz.
Really? All right. Andrew Hutz, congratulations. You are the winner. Is he going to pass, though?
I don't know.
So go scroll up and see who's next, just in case, everybody. I'm going to watch. Andrew Hutz, well, I want the AWS and the Pen Test Plus.
That's I see. That way he can, because he was asking about trading the AWS or the Pen Test Plus for AWS. Now he gets both. Awesome. Congratulations, Andrew.
Yeah, hang on. Let's get this up here so Andrew knows where to go. So Andrew, in order to claim your prize, all you got to do is send an email to kathy@totalsem.com. In that email, be sure to put in your YouTube name, just as it shows here on YouTube. That would be Andrew Hutz. And then tell her which practice exam you wish to have. And you automatically get whichever product you want. So I'm pretty sure, and if there's any issues, Kathy will let you know. But I don't think there'd be any problem.
Shouldn't be any problem at all. That was fun.
All right, so it looks like things are quieting down a little bit here. Tell Andrew where he can go. Guys, do keep in mind that this Friday, Dave Rush, the Dave Rush AMA is going to be cameras on a Raspberry Pi. So, definitely going to talk about installing and operating different modes and functions and competition that's out there. So that is going to be this Friday, 2 o'clock, right here at the Total Seminars channel. Do keep in mind, guys, a lot of people are like, I don't want to learn about Raspberry Pis.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm not that big of a Raspberry Pi fan either until I need it to do something. Then I'm really a Raspberry Pi fan, right?
Why don't we, there's a bunch of new people on the stream. You want to actually describe what a Raspberry Pi is and the operating system and all that?
Raspberry Pi is a little teeny tiny computer. It's a system on a chip. And they're little tiny ones. I don't have mine handy right now.
That's because you gave it to me.
Oh, God, did I?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Why would I give you...
You were like, I'm just going to give it to you.
That's me.
And I took it, and I put it in my bag, and I took it home.
And it's still there.
Yes.
Well, the dog peed on it or something. I'm the king of largesse. So the beautiful part about Raspberry Pis, and you can install a number of different operating systems on a Raspberry Pi. They have their... I used to call it Raspbian. What's it called now?
Raspberry Pi OS.
Raspberry Pi OS, which is just a Linux knockoff. Runs fine. I have 2 Raspberry Pis here in my house. One is a Pi-hole, which still continues to do yeoman work.
Right.
Blocking ads. And I also use one as my home theater, for my home theater. It's little tiny.
So it's a great, and the reason that we use the Raspberry Pi, and Dave Rush is our Pi guru extraordinaire, is because there's a bunch of Linux questions on A+, Net+, and Security+. And this is a great way to have a nice Linux distribution that you can play with, that has practical purposes, and you can learn as you go. And they don't cost very much, like $25.
$50 for like the super high-end ones.
Right. So pretty impressive.
And that's why we loved having Dave doing his Dave Rush AMAs. Is lots of interesting ways to learn about lots of technology very, very cheaply.
Yep.
And that is the beauty of the Raspberry Pi.
So that'll be Friday, 2 o'clock Central Daylight Savings Time.
Central Daylight Savings.
Central Daylight Savings Time.
Be there, be there, be there.
Right, nameless, a wee little baby computer.
Oh, it's one of the little people. It's one of the tiny people. Oh, where's Zach? Is he here today? He's not Irish. He doesn't care.
Right?
He's not Irish, is he?
No, he's not.
No, he's a Brit.
Yeah.
He's from England.
He is.
He's from good old what do they call it in World War I? Blighty. I'll be back to Blighty.
Nice.
Oh, but I still want to do an Irish accent.
Okay, so Mark Wheeler squeezed in a question here at the end. 322. I have an interview tomorrow for a tech support residential position. Any tips?
I'm not sure what residential means.
I don't either. But tech support.
But two things, Mark. Since it's tomorrow, the only thing I really want you to do is learn as much about this company as you can. Who are some of the major players? Get a little bit of the history of the company. What are some of the products? What division are you working in, and what are other divisions? You know, those are the type of things you need to be looking at. It's always impressive when you can ask good, hard-hitting questions to your interviewer, and it always impresses them.
So at 317, that's good. Good advice.
317 already? Gee, Mendes, it's 326. Scott Jernigan.
I know, right? So we skipped Kieran Ferguson's question.
You're a good-looking guy. You know that?
What are you saying, Mike?
I'm so lonely. No, I'm kidding. It's been a rough COVID time.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Mike,
I'm going to go start the hot tub. I'm just goofing with you.
Hey, Mike.
All right.
I just passed my CompTIA A+. Thanks for the videos.
Very good,
Kieran. They were great help. I'm about to begin either CCNA or CompTIA Network Plus. Which should I focus on?
I think Network Plus. Network
agree.
Plus is such an important certification because once you're past Network Plus, you're going to be going into your Cisco routes, your Microsoft routes, your cloud routes, your wireless routes, whatever it might be. And every one of those organizations, you would think that Cisco invented DHCP, you know,
right.
The way that they talk about it. And so, I mean, there's certain things where Cisco did kind of invent it. You know, L2TP they invented. What else? Teaming. I mean, I'm sure somebody else did it first, but I'd never heard it outside of Cisco devices. VLANs, you know. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the Network Plus is your last chance to look at networking from a vendor neutral point of view. And in terms of the amount that people learn, there is no course I teach that provides more exciting knowledge than Network Plus. That's all I can say. So can you do it? You absolutely could jump to CCNA, but you will be a Cisco guy from there on in.
Right, absolutely.
And look, if you do Cisco, then be a Cisco guy. In fact, if you're going to be a wireless person, probably not bad looking at Cisco wireless systems in the enterprise in particular to get yourself,
right.
you know, going in that direction. But I think you would find a lot of challenge, especially if you then wanted to move over to Microsoft or something like that, where so many things, DNS, you know, Microsoft is now pretty much all Active Directory integrated
right.
DNS, and well, that can be a real challenge if you're trying to, you know, set up a non-Microsoft DNS server. I mean, they'll talk to them, but you know, it's always weird.
So Alex Campo at 326 says, "Hey Mike, thanks to your course and book, I was able to pass the Network Plus today.
Well,
already have A+ and Sec Plus.
We got people on a roll around here.
And before,
but wait, there's more.
There's more. And before you say get a job, I already have one.
Get a job.
You're stealing all his fun.
One of these young kids taking all of our jobs.
That's great. Congratulations, Alex.
Where is this?
Right there, top of the screen, man. Where it says, "Hey, Mike."
How come I didn't show up on? God, this is so weird. How different.
Yeah.
These live chats are. Okay. Catherine at 326. Hi, Mike. Recommendation for a reputable free VM practice source.
Oracle VirtualBox.
I'm not sure that's what this
VM,
person is
virtual
asking.
Machine.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So, Catherine, We certainly push Oracle VirtualBox. It is a completely free Class 2 hypervisor. Works absolutely fantastic with Windows. I have never tried to put it on a Linux box. Does VirtualBox has got to work with Linux?
I would assume so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always used it on Windows.
And the bottom line is that VirtualBox VM are very, very popular. Now, here's the other, your first few virtual machines are ones that you build from scratch. You get a copy of Ubuntu and you get it ISO and you go ahead and go through the installations because you're killing two birds with one stone. Number one, you're learning how to use a virtual machine, and VirtualBox is as good as any. And then number two, you're going to have to be playing with Linux anyway. Might as well build up a Linux box so you can practice your Linux commands and things like that.
Right. And Dave just confirmed that there is a VirtualBox version for Linux. So even if you're running Linux and want to just install some other VM, VirtualBox will do that for you. There's also Hyper-V that comes with the professional versions of Windows.
Nothing wrong with it.
I've got a VM. In fact, my Kali Linux box is a Hyper-V VM
Cool.
on my main system.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
What else we got going here? Gabriel Patino, thank you so much for teaching so well.
Ah, you big lug.
You're welcome. Sure. There is a Discord channel that is associated with the AMAs. It's not our Discord channel or Total Seminars Discord channel. It is the unofficial Discord channel that a lot of us play in. It's hosted by our friend, or created and hosted by our friend Jose Braden. Dave has posted the link to this week's invite. So click it, join us usually after the AMAs. We'll show up for a few minutes or even a while. And if you have a camera and a microphone, you can go into voice chat and video chat, and we see you, you see us. It gets a little saltier than here. I'll give you fair warning. But it's a lot of fun people. It's well over 300 people now in the channel, and it's a 24/7 channel. Questions get answered asynchronously, or if we're there live in the chat, they can get answered right away. So it's a good place to hang out. It's fun, lots of fun people. And yes, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Liking doesn't give us any money. We don't monetize this channel. What it does is it enables other people to find the content more readily in the future. So if you're watching this from the future.
From the future?
Yeah, that didn't come out quite right.
I send him faxes from himself from the future. Dwight, today at 8 o'clock, the coffee will be poisoned. Don't let anyone drink it.
What's that movie you reference?
That's a television show called The Office. You'll thank me later.
Okay.
All right, it looks like we're wrapping up here, guys. Okay, well, cool. Good day, huh? Not too shabby.
Not bad.
So, folks, don't forget, we got Dave this Friday with
Right.
the Dave Rush AMA. And then
Drama.
also drama. And also, don't forget to jump on the Discord channel. And we usually tend to get a few of us on there immediately after any of these AMAs, but it is a 24/7. And there's lots of good techs on there. So hopefully we'll be seeing you guys around.
Faxes. Yeah.
So are we good?
We are good.
All right, guys. All right, we are out of here. Y'all have a great one, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye, kids.